Hey guys, I'm Jim. This is Warren. You're watching Talking Vintage. This is show number 75, and today is July the 25th. We are coming to you from Decades You Claim Vintage Depot, located at 502 West Brennan Road, Lakeland, Florida, 33813. If you want to know more about Decades, you can check them out on Facebook or on the web. You can check us out on Facebook well, we're not on the web. I don't know. Yeah, or you can check us out on YouTube. Today, July the 25th, is National Hot Fudge Sundae Day, National Wine and Cheese Day, and National Carousel Day. Do all those too fast or together and you got some problems. Okay, celebrity.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, birthdays today. Matt LeBlanc, Thurston Moore, and Miriam Shore.
Who's Thurston Moore?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That's for them to figure out.
Oh, okay.
All right, moving on. We're going to play our game now. It's called What's in the Box. I say some clues. Warren tries to guess what is in the imaginary box. Once he's guessed, if he's wrong, he cannot continue, because then it's up to you guys to figure out what is in the box. All right, are you ready, sir?
I am ready.
He was wrong last week.
I've
He
been
wanted to
wrong
keep
quite a
guessing. Did you know what last week was?
You never told me.
No, I didn't have to tell you. You were trying to guess it. You remember?
I know. I tried to guess speakers.
No, it wasn't speakers. I said you flip a switch and it lights your way for the last thing. It's lamps. Yeah, last week was lamps. Okay. So, all right, moving on. This week, if you have just one, you don't need a box, maybe just the glove box. Each one gives you up to 8 options. Actually, it's only 4 options. Okay? They're not like trains, but each one has its own tracks. Okay? You can use it wherever you are, home, office, or the car. Last one is just pop one in and bring your favorite group to life. He's trying to think here.
It's hurting. It's hurting.
I gave you big clues.
You did.
I gave you tracks.
Okay, so
I gave you 8.
An 8 track?
Oh,
No.
see, I had to spoon feed him that one. That's right, it's 8
Wow.
tracks. Yeah.
Most people don't even have a clue.
Yeah, I know.
We're talking.
Well, you have them, so. hey.
I know.
We're moving on to vintage trends. We're telling you what's trending in the vintage world. This is from that decade, so this is probably everywhere. Everywhere is a little bit different. Colored glass is trending for us. Old metal things are trending for us, like old tools and just anything old and metal is kind of trending.
Cool.
And all kinds of decor. You know, like things you would hang on the wall or just set around. I mean, wood, metals, cloth, pictures. We're selling a few pictures lately. Yeah, usually we don't sell any pictures, but we've been selling some pictures, some prints, some artwork. Not trending is large furniture, large pieces of furniture, and Crocs and stoneware have kind of stepped back a little bit. I'm not going to say they won't sell. Anytime we say not trending, we're not saying it's not going to sell. We're just saying it has slowed down. Somebody say, "Oh, it's trending here, it's trending there." Okay, yeah, you're different. You're somewhere else. I get it. But for us, large furniture has slowed down, and Crocs and stoneware has slowed down. Okay, yeah. We act like somebody's going to actually comment and tell us we're wrong, but yeah, because that never happens. All right. Moving on to our vendor corner. This is the time where we talk to the people who are vendors at shops like at Decades Reclaim, like Warren and I are. Okay, this is kind of a sensitive subject for me because I'm the store owner. Okay, but we're going to talk about what you should sell in your booth. We have rules here at Decades Reclaim. We're supposed to be 80% vintage, 20% other stuff, but that 20% is supposed to be vintage-like. It's not a door to open up to sell whatever you want. And we'll get into that a little bit more. So if you've got rules, you've got to follow them. Because at the end of the day, if you're just bringing in whatever you want, I get it. Maybe you're successful, maybe you're selling or whatever. But what are you doing to the store? Okay? Customers have expectations when they go to a flea market. Customers have expectations when they go to a thrift store. Customers have expectations when they go to an antique store. Customers have expectations when they go to a vintage store such as Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot. Each of those expectations are probably different. Okay, so if you're not following, if you're in a vintage store and you're not bringing in vintage and you're selling everything else, you're not meeting the expectation of the customer walking in the door. So are you hurting the shop by doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the bottom line. It means something different to each customer, and you want to make sure that you're meeting their expectations. You don't want to have them come into the store. I definitely don't want them to come into Decades and feel like they're in a flea market. Okay? If they wanted a flea market, we've got some fantastic ones around here. They could go to the flea market. They're going to a vintage store. So make sure as a vendor you are following the rules and not just doing what you want to do. There's a reason, and I'm telling you the reason now is the expectations of the customer. Here at Decades Reclaimed, we are 80% vintage, and which includes antiques too, and then the 20%, and the 20% needs to be vintage like a reproduction piece or something like that. But you know, anything with a barcode on it does not belong here, for the most part, I would say.
What is the definition of vintage?
Well, let's vintage. You know, it's probably 30 years or back or whatever. But let's just talk the barcode thing.
Okay.
We have collectible falls in a VHS. VHS that is collectible Disney. Hang on just a second. Welcome to Decades. So a VHS that is collectible Disney is okay because it's a collectible piece. But you know, your other VHS or not, somebody's going to say, oh yeah, every VHS could be collectible. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a true collection. Yes, there are a few people who collect all VHS. Yes, there are some VHS that wouldn't be considered collectible that are high value. But again, it's not the place for it. DVDs, no. CDs, no. Okay, they're still produced, they're still made. It doesn't belong in there. You know, cell phone cases, no. You know, new clothes, no. Not in a shop like us. Not in a shop like us. So, just a rule of thumb: if it's got a barcode on it, more than likely it's probably not considered vintage. Even though the 80s are becoming vintage and their barcodes were out in the 80s. So, I guess barcode isn't the catch-all or whatever. But again, make sure you're following the rules because the customers have expectations. You know, if you're in a shop and your shop is, you know, whatever market, it's just a market, then I guess yes. But, you know, if you're in an antique mall, you need to have antiques. If you're in a vintage mall, you need to have vintage. And you need to understand what you're doing to the expectations of the customer by not following the rules. Okay, let's move on. Joke. Why don't lions hang out with other species? Their pride gets in the way.
Oh, then that's never happened.
Nah, that's not.
It's not hilarious. But
All right, question and answer time. Yeah, we're running out of time, so we'll go quick here. Tell us your best dad joke. Leave it in the comments below. We didn't have any answers from last time, so we won't go there. And then in closing, I want to thank everybody for watching watching Talking Vintage. I'm Jim. That's Warren. Check us out on Facebook, the web, and on YouTube. Thanks a lot. Have a great night.